Alright, all the pros are doing a 1 mile challenge. They're throwing as few discs as they can to reach 1 mile. I figure now would be a good time to show what a relatively low-level amateur can do. So I've run the calculations. I need somewhere between 22 and 25 discs to reach a mile. I went ahead and brought 24 of the ones I could fit in this bag, and I'll show you my setup in just a minute. But here's my attempt at the 1 mile challenge. You see all that I have here is my camera, my tripod, and my bag of discs. I've got 24 of them. These are essentially the 24 slowest discs that I have, but these are ones that allow me to have the most control, which is what I need at this point in the game. I don't have any more discs that I can throw effectively. Everything else I have at the house is 9-speed or greater, and that's greater than what I have the ability to throw. Besides, I want to see what some of the slower speed mid-ranges and some of the higher speed or modest speed putters will do at my max throw capacity. I've also got a smartphone with U-Disc. I'm going to use this to measure my throws. I'm basically going to pick a point just behind where I'm standing now to throw all the discs in my bag, and then I'm going to run the numbers and I'm going to see if I've reached a mile. And if I haven't, I'm going to throw however many more discs that I need to reach that distance. Alrighty, I'm letting U-Disc warm up. Basically, it's trying to calculate where I'm currently at, so then I can make the throws, and then I will go find each disc and then list what distance I have. Okay, let's begin. That's not good. Too low. That's a little bit better. This has me worried. Yeah, this is going to be a long day. I can already tell you I'm going to need more than 22 throws. That was decent for me. Now I'm actually into the fairway drivers. These are the fastest discs that I have that I can throw. Not good. I'm definitely no pro. I'm not even a good recreational player. Geez. I'm also using this to study my form later because it's terrible. Last and possibly least, now I've got to go measure distances. And U-disc is crazy. Hey, it's 632 feet. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh no, now we're back to 172 or whatever. It doesn't matter. Alright, that was seriously depressing. I'm going to have to make another set of complete throws so I can get all the numbers, and I'll have to return to the house and then make all the calculations afterwards. But I'm not doing nearly as well as I even thought I would, which is a learning experience. So the moral of this story is I thought I was a better driver than I really am. So I'm going to make another set of 24 throws, and quite frankly what I'm going to do is add up the best of all of the throws and see what that takes to get a mile, and I will use that as sort of a learning experience. And I'll provide you an average of what I threw and an average of what was needed for me to make a mile, and we're just going to see what that differential is. And I'm not really beating myself up too badly here, considering I know full well I never practiced driving. This is actually my 4th attempt in 1 year, 9 months to even try to do any sort of driving. So this is my ulterior motive is actually to learn how to drive. So that's the primary reason I'm here. But I'm also trying to convert this into video for content creation purposes so you can sort of see what I'm learning. Now I'm going to start throwing. Oh, and one other thing. It literally doesn't matter what I'm throwing. Some of my fastest discs are coming up the shortest. Some of my slowest discs are going the furthest. So even my current strategy of using fairway drivers off the tee may not be good if I can't even surpass what I get with putters with them. So I'll have to learn from that. Now let's start throwing. For example, that Mirage was one of the furthest throwing ones, as well as my darts. That's probably not even 200 feet. Many of them never even reach 200. Normally that throw would have ended up me hitting a tree if I was on any sort of wooded course. Alrighty, to put it mildly, this has been a sobering experience. I'm not complaining, but it appears to me that I've been overestimating my throws in the past. Now I can generally throw a disc and tell how far it's going, but mentally I've been thinking I can hit 200 feet when I drive fairly regularly, and the fact is I'm not even coming close to that fairly regularly My average here is going to be interesting. When I get back to the laboratory, I will have a better report than this because I will have gone through all the video first, cropped it as effectively as I can, and had more time to think about everything that's just transpired in the last nearly hour that I've been recording, out here recording, not that I've recorded an hour's worth of content. And hopefully the final product that is uploaded to YouTube that you're watching now isn't as terrible as it seems like right now. Okay, let's wrap this up with a little bit of information. So I threw a total of 24 discs twice, each for a total of 48 times. I only left in this video the first 31 throws since that was what I needed to reach 1 mile. What I've done here at home after the fact is add up every throw from the very first one until the 31st throw, where I reached that 1 mile mark. I still threw 17 more times after that on the field, but I cut that out of the video, and I just made the calculations based off that first 31 and just showed those first 31 throws rather than every single one of the throws. Saved you about 2 more minutes out of this video. My first 31 throws had an average of 171 feet, and my average of all 48 throws was 170 feet. The first 24 throws I averaged 175, and the last 24 were 166. So you can kind of see that I kind of petered out a little, towards the end. My best throw was 217 feet, and my lowest throw was 130 feet. The bottom line is I personally think I'm throwing about 200 feet on average, and ultimately what I seem to be doing is throwing about 170. Now, in hindsight, these throws were probably around the 80 to 90% mark in terms of my power, due to my arm, still being sore from a couple games that I played with a friend 3 days prior. But ultimately, I have to go with the way I performed that day. Also, I did use some overstable discs like the Pig and the Gazelle, which didn't help because they basically faded out relatively early, considering I'm only throwing in the high 100s, and those are really designed for people with more power than like myself. So what I'm going to do in maybe a week or so is I'm going to try this again with maybe about 15, 16 of my straightest flying either mid-ranges and fairway drivers, and throw them twice, and then see if I can beat 31 throws some point in the future. So for me, I was a little disappointed in not really reaching 200 that much, and so it gives me a goal to reach for. And lastly, I'm just going to finish off here by saying that this is ultimately driving practice, and it's a way for me to measure my ability to throw long distances. And I'm doing this to look at my form using a camera and a video, so that I can make corrections over time so I can get better, because I've sort of reached a plateau of sorts and my accuracy isn't terribly good. So I need to focus on both, and this is how I can do that. You too can do this by setting goals for yourself to increase distance over time, over many discs per throwing session. And in my case, 50 drives in a session is pretty good for a beginner like myself. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.